I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, you know, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve it now. It's
Got next. And I'll be quiet.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. Got a chance to see those Baltimore Ravens win. Go Ravens. Go Ravens. 2-1. Beat the Patriots. You know, we've had some struggle with them in the past, especially when they had, what's the winning quarterback? One went down to Tampa Bay. Y'all know his name. All right, what else going on? Special kudos to Mr. Ricky Smith out of BWI Airport. He put on Synergy last week, he and his team. Please don't forget the team, Annette Fisher and company. The event was held at Live Casino. A number of business professionals across the gamut were in the house with some really good strategies, some workshops, some panels on business and being successful in business. Speaking of business, I don't know how much crypto. Oh, well, thank you, Michael Haney. You're so informative. I don't know how much crypto you have in your portfolio, but that is the topic today. Remember, on this network, we featured not long ago Mr. Kamal Hubbard. Kamal was doing the Black Crypto Show on Friday nights. I believe he got snatched up by a bigger network. Hey, I can say it, a larger network, but he'll deny that. He'll say he's just gardening, picking flowers and all. But nonetheless, we have with us today a young lady that's going to give us her spin on the whole topic of crypto. And I did some research too. RJ McDowell, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Glover. Thank you for having me on your show this morning.
Good. So look, I'm looking up crypto, trying to be informed and all. And the first thing I come across, and it's not you, of course, but it's the story from the Department of Justice, February of this year. Did you hear about two people? Now, I think they were, a couple. Ilya Lichtenstein and his wife, Heather Morgan. And they 34 and 31 years old in New York City. Listen what they got arrested for an alleged conspiracy to launder $4.5 billion in stolen crypto.
Wow.
The government seized $3.6 billion in stolen crypto directly linked to the 2016 hack of the virtual currency exchange. Is that like the New York Stock Exchange?
Yes. If you
Okay.
to compare it to anything else, yeah, I would definitely agree. And I am familiar a little bit with the story because it is from 2016. And I want to say there's even a bigger story about a gentleman who stole crypto when he went missing allegedly, and they have never been able to relocate him. I think he went to India or somewhere, they can't find him, and he walked away with a high dollar amount as well.
So people must come to the realization. Now this is I'm not Kamal Hubbard. I am not the crypto guy, but I am the person that wants to help explain this to the general public. So, this ain't grad school. So
I get it. I completely understand. That's one of the things that I try to focus on. I try to explain it like a second grader, right? We need more people in our community to understand what crypto is and what crypto isn't, right? So in our community, we have a tendency to go after fads, for example. And that's true also in the crypto space. Most people in our community, they focus on the big name brands like Bitcoin. I personally say Bitcoin is like Gucci. We love our Gucci, right? And then the other second major crypto that we focus on is Ethereum. Ethereum is like Fendi, right? So in layman's terms, Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's like a magic trick. It's like, look over here. Don't pay attention to what we're doing. Look over here at Bitcoin and Ethereum. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about key protocols that our community needs to know about. And I'm going to give them information that they can look up themselves. I'm going to give them government websites they can go to, ISO protocol websites they can go to, because there's a big change that's happening and we need to be on the right side of it, right?
Okay, so let's back up. Who are you? Where are you from? Where can we find you? Because the one thing about the crypto thing, it's like finding me a web designer. I prefer a web designer that lives in my hometown. I could knock on their door and say, where my damn stuff at?
Absolutely. Okay, so let me introduce myself.
But we live in a world that's so virtual, and then people, some people don't want to be seen. I've had people want to come on the show. Yeah, but I don't want to show my face. Well, hold up. This ain't the show for you. I'm just saying everybody's cryptic these days.
I get it. I understand.
So in Baltimore, they call them social media gangsters.
Social media gangsters.
Yeah, they
got Twitter fingers
online. Yeah. But you see them in the street, and it's like,
got it. Okay, so let me introduce myself to your community.
Okay.
So community, thank you for having me and listening to me as well. My name is RJ McDowell. I am one of the co-founders of Repar Global Coin and Melanin E-commerce. I'll explain a little later why I'm bringing the two together. Repar Global Coin was founded. We started working on this project 2.5 years ago. However, our crypto was launched on Juneteenth. So everything that we do is around the year 1865. So everybody that's on here, you should know the importance of 1865. That's when we got the emancipation. So everything we do is around 1865. So what that means is we actually created and developed a cryptocurrency token where we have a max supply of 18 billion. That's with a B. 18 billion 650 million tokens. The reason we chose that high number, you're going to find out why I'm doing that as well. A lot of people focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can't hear me?
No, I want to tell you that some people don't know what 1865 was. Some people don't know what 2021 was.
You think so? Question in the chat, right?
You just threw it out there.
If you don't know what 1865 is, okay, so I can't even assume that everybody knows what Juneteenth is, right? So 1865 was the time period where they freed Black people from slavery. That was the year 1865. There's some data that shows that June 19th wasn't actually the real date. It was actually December of 1865, but that's a whole nother topic, right? So
the bottom line is that's when freedom was afforded to the masses of Black people who were enslaved.
Absolutely. But there were still roughly about 200,000 people who were still enslaved, and they weren't freed until December of 1865. So you got June, July, August, September, October, November, December. There were still over 200,000 people that were still enslaved. Even though freedom took place in 1865, they went in on the cavalry back in Texas and told the people, oh, by the way, you got your freedom.
So let me ask you, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like those people in Texas, for instance, are owed 6 months of reparations? Do you feel like those of us who are descendants of, what do they call those, foundational Black people? They got so many names these days. I mean, I just get so sick of them. To me, you're either a racist or you're not. You either love people or you don't. That's all I want to know. Do you love people? Because if you love people, then you treat people like people. But if you don't, then I want to vote them off the island. But we're getting way too political. I'm sorry.
So to your point, you asked the questions about reparation. That's what the name of our token is. It's the derivative of our token.
So they do owe us money.
Say it one more time.
America owes Black people money.
America owes Black people money, but are we going to get it? I don't think in my lifetime. I personally don't think it's going to happen.
We're going to get a Black president. We never even thought about it. We didn't even fathom it until Barack Obama put his name in the ring. Here in the state of Maryland, we've been pushing for a Black governor, but did we actually think that a Westmore was going to come on the scene? Very few people saw that coming.
So yeah, let's
happen. And look, Elon Musk and them want to travel outer space. Before they go anywhere, I'm gonna be right there at the launch pad with the stick up. You gonna pay us our money before you go anywhere. You go developing anything.
I hear you. But I just personally think it's not going to happen. They're already trying to set the narrative, right? And there was I don't know if you know who Don Lemon is. I'm sure you probably do know who Don Lemon is. Lemon. He's on CNN, I believe. He has his own show. He was being interviewed by some woman from the UK, or he was interviewing the woman, and she said, let's talk about reparations. She said, if we're going to talk about reparations, she said, let's go back to where it really started. She actually said this. You got to try to find the video. She said that the African kings decided to sell African people into slavery. So reparations should start in Africa. That's what she said.
I don't have a problem with collecting my money from the Blacks, the whites, or anybody else, the Arabs, anybody who's involved in it. I have no problem collecting, including any greedy ass African kings who were into selling Black people. Now, I don't want to hear all about it. You ain't know what you were doing. No, I'm coming to collect.
You want
Black, white, or otherwise, give me my damn money. That's my land right there. That gold dookie around your neck, that's mine.
That's your land.
That's mine. It's my birthright. Get it up.
I got it.
I asked you but once.
So that's basically the name of our token is REPAR, which is short for reparations. So we're trying to do something because we don't think it's going to happen in our time. This is our way of bringing a community together to say collectively, this is what we can do.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
Not a project. Actually, you know what? I can say that without getting into too much detail, my background is military. I'm a veteran from the Air Force. And then in addition to that, I've worked on large scale projects, classified projects in the crypto space years ago. So I was in government contracting for over 23 years. So that's what my background is, in IT management and things of that nature. So there were large billion-dollar programs that I was part of, where I actually signed my name on the contract.
And then you started your own business?
I actually started my own business. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started my own business back in 2016. And believe it or not, I actually had a situation with an employer where there was some racism going on, right? Microaggressions, systemic racism in the workplace. And my personality, I'm not the type of person to remain quiet on an issue. So I ended up leaving that organization, and there was a lawsuit that took place with that organization. I can't go into too much detail about it.
Are you from the East Coast?
I am from the East Coast. I was born in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you got that East Coast edge to you, like you got a straight razor right there by your side.
Straight razor. It's in my hair. Hold on.
We love Philadelphia.
Yes.
Do you know about James Fortin, the Black Patriot from Philadelphia? I
don't know too much about James Fortin. I probably
Fortin, F-O-R-T. And you when you learn about him, you'll mess around and name a coin after James Fortin.
Fortin.
I used the equivalent of a millionaire while slavery was going on. He owned a sail company, and like you, he was a veteran. Even more, he was a patriot. And he wasn't for any immigration of Black people anywhere. He wasn't down with Liberia, Sierra Leone. He was like, we doing it right here.
Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that.
He's a hero. Philadelphia had a lot going on, and your libraries are just so full of information. And then, of course, I know y'all got sentiments about that move thing that happened.
Oh yeah.
Philly ain't no joke. And you got Old Doom Day up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I stole the show. Let me just let you know. All right.
That's okay. So going back to it, reparations, REPAR is short for reparations. Our ticker symbol, we are actually on an exchange where you can actually buy the crypto. But here's what we want from our audience. We don't want you to buy the crypto. We're not asking people to buy the crypto. We're actually giving away our token. We're doing what's called an airdrop, right? So we developed a max supply of 18,650,000,000 tokens. We are actually airdropping 1,865 tokens to the first 50,000 people that sign up. So I'm going to repeat that. We're actually giving away 1,865 tokens to the first 1,000 people. Now, right now, our token is worth 1 penny, right? So it's worth 1 penny today. But for those who don't know a lot about crypto, Bitcoin, for example, in 2010, when it first came out, Bitcoin was only 8 cents. I'm going to say that again. Bitcoin was only 8 cents in 2010. The highest that Bitcoin reached was $65,000 for one token. And the reason that happened is because of mass adoption, right? So our token is a utility token, and Bitcoin is also a utility token. We are trying to make sure our community understands what mass adoption is. That is why we are going to give away 1865, starts on Juneteenth, and we're going to do that every year for approximately the next 10 years, right? So what that means is that equates to 93 million tokens that we're going to give away every single year, right? So if it's 1 penny this year, maybe it's $5 next year. Who knows? I can't, price prediction is not something that I can do. But with the group in our community doing mass adoption, we're focusing on nonprofits, right? So there's three things that are the forefront about our project and what we're doing. We're getting back to three areas: the wealth gap, the digital divide, and recidivism. You don't hear anybody talking about recidivism. You don't hear, well, let me not say that. You don't hear
On this show,
any of the crypto. You don't hear anybody in crypto talking about recidivism. You don't hear people in crypto saying, oh, I'm going to give back to recidivism using crypto. You don't hear anybody saying that, right?
I need you to slow down.
Okay.
Why the correlation to the returning citizen community? Why the correlation to mass incarceration? Are you inferring that, like reparations, mass incarceration is a heavily Black issue?
It's slavery. It's slavery.
Thank you, boo.
It's slavery. So that's why they're part of our core. It is absolute, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox about it, but we know in the 80s and the 90s, granted, yes, some of our brothers and sisters committed crimes. That whole thing, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. How can you pull yourself up by the bootstraps if you don't have a pair of boots, right? So they gave harsher sentence. They're still giving harsher sentence, even though marijuana is legal in so many states. There are still many people that look like you and I that are sitting in jail with years.
Where some of our white counterparts are instead going to the bank, building the places where you grow the weed and sell the weed.
Mm-hmm. Even getting it.
This dawned on me the other day, RJ, a couple weeks ago. I live in a community in Baltimore where Freddie Gray happened.
Mm-hmm.
They call it Sandtown in West Baltimore.
Okay.
We see drug sales. Where in certain communities you see people every day who are bankers and lawyers. We see drug dealers every day. Are they wrong? Are they wrong for selling heroin, cocaine, and crack, despite all of the evils, when America's pharmaceutical companies are selling those drugs, so to speak, and a whole bunch of other drugs that our parents are taking, that some of us are taking, and we're under the impression that if we don't take those drugs, we'll die? Or they have seniors. My dad had 14 different prescriptions near the end of his life. And it's like, we condemn the coke, dope, and crack dealers because they're off the hook, and we don't want our children seeing our people selling drugs and buying drugs, and especially now using drugs, shooting dope in public. But when you look over here at reparations, when you look at the weed, who's locked up for weed, who's getting licenses to sell weed, this thing is a money thing. It's all about money.
It is a money thing, but I will say to those that are selling dope in our communities, is it helping our community or is it hurting?
Oh, they're killing our community. They know damn well
it's killing our community. So because of that, I'm gonna have to go on the side of nah. I'm not feeling it. Yes, the pharmaceutical companies are doing things. They're doing the prescriptions and things like that.
They're just as diabolically evil.
I agree. But you're right. You're not gonna see them behind bars.
Nope. You damn sure don't see them locked up. Like Nancy Reagan. What'd she say? She said, just say no.
Mm-hmm.
But check this out. And I know we're diverting, but in Sandtown, a 90% Black community, now we have addicts that don't fit the majority demographic.
Yeah, I see a lot of white crackheads when I go through Baltimore. But they're on oxy, fentanyl. That's a bigger epidemic than crack ever was, but they're not talking about it. It's not on the news.
So you're giving away these coins, and I mean, say 16 billion? Who?
1865. We have a max supply of 18,650,000,000. And in circulation, we have 1,865,000,000. We're trying to give away 93 million tokens to the first 50,000 individuals. And we're also giving away 93 million tokens to nonprofits that focus on the wealth gap, digital divide, and recidivism.
All right, how do we get this? Where do you want people to go?
Okay, so there's a process, right? Getting our community to understand you need a wallet. You need a crypto wallet to be able to do this. And it's not just any wallet. And this is where it can get confusing. And I'm going to say
it is. Got them damn 12 words. You got to hide them. Can't let the kids see them. You got to hide them from your lady friend. You can't let nobody but Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha see your 12 words. What's that all about? Oh, that's confusing.
So
I can't even keep my eyes on my PIN number, on my password.
So that's the security portion of it. For those people who think, they hear about crypto scams and people stealing their money, unless you are sharing your private and, well, not your public key, you can share your public key, unless you're sharing your private key with other people. And I'm going to go back and explain. Whenever you get a crypto wallet, okay, a non-custodial crypto wallet, you got custodial wallets and you have non-custodial wallets. Non-custodial wallets give you a private key and a public key. Some will also give you a 12-word phrase. What that means is it's similar to a P.O. box. If your address is 1234 Main Street, you're the only one that has the key to that P.O. box.
Suppose you move.
You better take your private key with you. You better take that key with you.
That's the non-custodial?
This is a non-custodial wallet. You have a private key and a public key. So basically what that means is that private key or / secret key, you don't share that with anyone. You don't share that private key with anyone. It's just like your social security. Well, it's even more secure than your social security number, because sometimes you got to fill out forms and put your social security number on it, right? Your social security number is floating out there for the IRS, is floating out there, in human resources. But your private key, nobody, once that number gets created, nobody sees the private key except for you. So you can do a couple of different things with it. You can put it on, they have these wallets that look like USB drives. You can secure it on there. You can put it in a safety deposit box, put it under your mattress, put it somewhere. Just don't save it. If you have a computer and you're always downloading stuff and you're clicking on links, that could be a virus. That could be somebody, a worm going through your computer. That's how people's information gets stolen, when they click on a lot of different things. They click on a link and that link will start searching your computer for your private key. That's how people are getting got when it comes to crypto. But it's very secure if you do it the right way. It's very secure. And it's going to be when we get into it a little bit of things I have on here that I want to talk about. The world is changing. The digital age of currency is here. There's something that's getting ready to happen in the next 6 to 12 months that everybody's going to be like, well, what happened? What happened? When did that happen? Right? So first, and we have instructions on the website. So the website is reparglobalcoin.com. That's www.repar, global, global, coin.com. We've got videos on there. And also I encourage you to follow us on our YouTube page, which is Repar Token, REPARTOKEN, and also on our Instagram and Twitter. We're Repar Global Official on Instagram and Repar on Twitter. So we go live. We have, commentary shows just like this to talk to people about it. We got videos about it. Actually, this week we're going to be uploading some other videos that are less than 2 minutes long, because we know people have a short attention span, to say, hey, this is how you do the wallet. Okay, now that you've done the wallet, this is how you do the airdrop, right? So it's people make it more complicated than it needs to be. People think that crypto is, it's this big thing, I can't understand it. It's not as complicated. You don't need to be a developer to create crypto. You don't need to have a PhD. You don't need to be wealthy. You don't need to be rich. Once you get a crypto wallet and understand that you're buying a crypto wallet to a specific blockchain, okay? You hear the word, people hear the word blockchain, they immediately think of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency ever created, okay? But since it was the first, guess what? It's the pager. You understand what I'm saying? It is now a pager. The technology they use to build Bitcoin is old. The new way, they've now come up with new ways to develop blockchain. If you hear things like, oh, cryptocurrency uses up too much energy, that's because that was the old way. That's called proof of work. Okay. The new technology for blockchain is proof of stake. The old way, proof of work, it took several computers, lots of electricity and energy that was required to validate the transactions on blockchain. That's what Bitcoin was. That's old. That's old. Bitcoin, again, is the pager back in the day, right? So now the new crypto, and we'll talk about that, not only Repar, there's one called XRP and XLM that I'm going to urge your audience to get into, right? And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. That's the new way. That's the iPhone 16. So to get everybody to understand what I just said, Bitcoin is a pager. Some of y'all wasn't even born when pagers was being used. Back in the day, everybody had a pager. Beep, beep, you check it as a number, you go to a payphone and you go call. That's what Bitcoin is.
3317715. I remember my pager. That was just before the BlackBerry came. Well, first you had to use one of them, no, Nextel.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing walkie-talkie, but then
Yeah.
the BlackBerry came about.
Those
People
were
don't even know
expensive
about the BlackBerry. The BlackBerry, hey, look, they did a promo test with me and BlackBerry because I showed them how a BlackBerry could get sweated out. I'm pedaling my bike and holding a BlackBerry. That did not work well in the East Coast heat of the summertime.
Sure, I'm sure it didn't.
They had to get a new BlackBerry. Then it's how do you get all your information over? Okay, so now we in the world of airdrops and wallets.
So airdrop. So you need, the first thing you need is a wallet. There's two ways we recommend. So our token was built on a blockchain called the Stellar blockchain. Okay. Stellar blockchain is what the Repar was developed on. Okay. The reason why we chose to build our token on the Stellar blockchain is because Stellar is part of a new ISO protocol that the world, globally, internationally, everybody is going to be using and utilizing cross-border payments. That is the new thing. So I'm asking everyone, those that are interested, I want you to look up what is a CBDC, okay? I can tell you a little bit about it. A CBDC is a central bank digital currency. That is going to be the wave of the future. What that means is the paper dollars, that's not going to be a thing anymore. That's not going to be a thing. Every country, there are 80 countries that have already started adopting the process of CBDCs. 80 countries. The United States, if you go to federalreserve.gov, they have a paper that they wrote on CBDCs. The United States is going to have a CBDC. That means the US dollar, that paper US dollar, that's not going to be a thing. It's going to be a US dollar that's going to be transferred into digital currency.
So, not to be facetious or sarcastic, but this whole war on drugs, I don't see it ever changing. And paper currency is typically what's used. I'm hearing you predict that people will be buying drugs, street drugs with crypto.
That is possible. That is and who's to say they haven't already been doing it?
They're gonna sell drugs.
Yeah, they yeah, I'm sure they've already been doing it. I'm sure they've already been doing it. So for example, if you look in the news right now,
but see, you cutting out the everyday person on the street who does not have a wallet, does not have a computer. You just said paper money is going to go away. I want to see that.
It's
I
gonna go
want to
away.
see how that goes.
Well, you know what's funny? So right now in the UK, they made an announcement that they have to turn in every single banknote, their dollars. They got until September 30th. They got to turn them all in. They're no longer going to be valid. This is in the UK. Look it up. They just made they started it in June, but September 30th is the deadline for the UK to turn in all their banknotes. The way that it works, look how they got everybody to get the vaccine. Not everybody, large portion of the world to get the vaccine. Look at your debit card. Look at your credit card. Back in the day, everybody didn't have a debit card.
Whole segment. I see half of the world going crypto, but the other half, I mean, and in poor countries.
Well, see, that's the thing. In poor countries, that's where they're saying decentralized currency is needed the most because it's better for the unbanked.
Who is they?
In South America, right? So in South America, a lot of countries like El Salvador, Venezuela, they've adopted crypto as their currency already.
But they're not poor. Venezuela got more oil than most.
But that's not the natural citizen. The average citizen is not wealthy.
We don't think of Russia as the largest diamond producer. I think of it as a cold ass place to live, especially when you can't do what you want to do like you want to do. It's going to be an interesting tug of war.
So exactly, and that's part of the ISO protocol. So the ISO protocol that I'm referring to is called ISO 222. So look it up, ISO 222. It is going to be the new way that they're going to do cross-border payments.
2022.
2022. And what I'm going to say the loose definition of it is an emerging global standard for sending payment instructions between local, regional, and international financial institutions.
I'm going to give you the Baltimore phrase for it.
Say it again.
I'm going to give you the Baltimore phrase for it.
Oh, okay.
Stick up.
The stick up. Yeah, there's going to be changes, and there's nothing we can do about it. Just like when you originally had your debit card or your Visa, this is what they're going to do. Stores, they're going to be like, oh, we only accept this form of payment. You know how that happens. You go to a lot of airports in other countries when you travel, they don't accept cash. They're like, they accept crypto and they accept digital payments. What you going to do? They make stores. Remember,
till you get to that place where they accept other forms of payment.
So what ends up happening if you are an entrepreneur, you're a small business, they tell you, okay, now you had to switch over from not just a regular debit card or a credit card. A couple years ago, they enforced the chip. Remember, they sent everybody that had a card, they had to have the chip on it. And now you had to use a chip and stick the card inside the machine instead of swiping it. You still got some stores that let you swipe it, but they're going to be phasing all of that stuff out. So like I said, this is
what my problem is? Stop asking me for my damn phone number and email address. Do you want a disc? Do you want a card? No! I'm sorry. Woosah.
But here's the thing.
Pay my bill. Let me get out of here. Everybody wants your phone number. I'm gonna give them Donald Trump number and Donald Trump email.
You can put a fake one in there. You can put it now. Here's the thing. Going back to the airdrop, one of the things that we ask for, because we're trying to build a community, we do ask for people. We don't ask for phone number, but we do ask for an email address, right? Because we're building a community. I
counted that because you want what was that number early on? You want 1 million, 1 billion? I wrote it down.
So the airdrop
address for everyone, and that's smart business.
It's 1,865 tokens to the first 50,000. But if you miss out this year, so we're trying to make sure we give away 50,000 tokens between now and Juneteenth. We launched on Juneteenth, and it's going to cut off by Juneteenth of 2023. So that's our year. Our calendar year is from Juneteenth to Juneteenth, right? So that's 50,000 individuals who will sign up to get 1,865 tokens. And then that equates to 93 million tokens. And then we're also giving away 93 million tokens to nonprofits that focus in those areas. Like I said, the wealth gap, digital divide, and recidivism. Now, there's a lot of nonprofits out there. So anybody listening to that, they know of a nonprofit that's in any of those areas, even if they're not anybody. And I'm sure you think about it, all of those areas equate to what most nonprofits are doing. So, right, for example, we just reached out to an organization called Brown Girls Who Code. It's like Black Girls Who Code. It's teaching, IT to young girls, right? You've got Eve Robotics, which is in Atlanta. They do the same thing. They teach coding, they teach robotics to young girls, anything that's in the STEM program. You've got there's a organization in Camden, New Jersey, which Camden is just like Baltimore. It's small, but they actually, I think they were #1 with murders. They actually beat Baltimore out, which I was surprised.
We do more than just murders here. We are the home of some of the oldest Black businesses in America. We produce the finest engineers. Don't listen to the mainstream media because they paint a dismal picture of Baltimore without pointing to the real criminals, which are these racist corporations and nonprofits. Because
some of the politicians.
We are overwhelmed with nonprofits who claim that they want to address the socioeconomic challenges of communities like mine, when we find that they stealing more shit than anybody.
So you and I'll have to talk after this, because I want a list of nonprofits in Baltimore that we can work with and ones we should stay away from.
I'm the wrong person because I don't trust none of them. I verify. I don't trust none of them because they come to make things better. But look at Baltimore. That's it.
Okay. All right. There's a nonprofit that we're also working with in New York. And this nonprofit in New York.
Oh, they connected. Baltimore and New York nonprofits, they cousins. They the same ones.
Well, this particular one, they have, and if you work with a nonprofit, they have reports that they're supposed to be able to say, this is who we helped and this is what we did. So there's one particular nonprofit that was started by a Black woman who was incarcerated.
Black people be stealing too.
Yeah, I get it. You gotta stop being a pessimist right now, Don.
All right.
Let's have some optimism about this. So this particular organization, and I can't say the name of it because what they do is they help women who are newly released from incarceration. They help them find shelter, clothing, and a job, right? So it's kind of like, think about Job Corps. This is what these organizations do. And this is an organization that we know, just based off of talking to some of the people that were in the program, it actually worked for them. And I know Baltimore has to have some programs where they help out teenagers and young boys. There just got to be nonprofits, Don. We're gonna talk about that later. But anyway, getting back to that for the airdrop, go to reparglobalcoin.com. Follow us on Instagram, Repar Global Official. Make sure you go to Instagram right now. We have videos, we go live, we talk about these things. And most importantly, we just started with our YouTube page. We're trying to make sure we do more things on YouTube because Instagram sometimes be, shutting us down.
So since you're being all innovative and all, maybe it's time to challenge some of these notions that we've been holding on to. We just believe, for instance, we believe that the United Negro College Fund is for helping to educate Black.
Let's talk about it. Come on. I got a daughter in college. I don't know nobody who knows anybody that ever got any money from the United Negro College Fund.
I have never met a United
I've never met a person
College Fund scholarship recipient in my damn life. So no.
Me either.
I'm going to say it. Some people not going to like it. The National Urban League. Mark Morial's the president. He been the president since I was a kid. How long he gonna be the damn president? And how is that beneficial to me with the same dude in the same position, Al Sharpton? I'm gonna say it. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. I don't care what you do to your hair, whether you lose or gain. I don't trust you. I don't care where they put you. I'm not trusting you. I trust Bill Cosby. I love Bill Cosby. I'm still a Bill Cosby fan. They set that man up. Where's Camille at, by the way? I love Camille. And I digress, but you get my point. Verify. All of these people been getting a pass on our community. Oh, we're here. Listen, we're going to come to your community. We're going to come to Sandtown. We're going to bring these economic empowerment ideas. We're going to craft them. We're going to customize them just for your community. We done seen the dog and pony shows. At the end of the day, you heard it at the beginning of the show. We got a new funeral home and a renovated police station.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's it.
That's shocking to me. So one thing I will say, and this is the part of it about Baltimore that I do know. I know that Baltimore does programs. They have programs for small urban enterprise zones, right? Or small businesses. I know that the construction companies, you can talk to them. They get some big contracts from Maryland and the state of Maryland. They have to give a certain percentage of contracts away to Black-owned construction businesses. And those gentlemen
that's generally true.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to get more. So let's just look at this region: Baltimore, Philly, New York. Personally, I think compared to the rest of the country, from Baltimore to New York, including Philly, there's more of a focus and an emphasis on Blacks getting contracts than anywhere else in the country. I will agree
Correct.
with that.
Correct.
I will agree that big ups to my hometown. Yeah, we got murders, but we got more Black businesses than most. I've been to Little Rock, Arkansas. Everything shut down at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
But on the East Coast, I've seen Blacks in businesses, any and every kind of business, and succeeding. So we have an acumen for business.
Yeah, you're correct. There was actually an article that was just released about the top 20 states that have Black-owned businesses, and Maryland is on that list. Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Government contracting, local state contracting is they definitely meet their, if you want to say quota, they meet the quota to make sure those contracts are given. It's a huge proposal process that they have to go through. But one thing I will say, they do have a lot of white companies that will come after the Black-owned businesses, especially construction, the big constructions like Turner Constructions and some of the bigger ones. They will make sure that they partner with a Black-owned business to make sure that they win that contract.
And that's sometimes where it starts and ends. Because
Yeah,
you get the contract and you the Black sub, then you got to be chasing this dude down. You know, can I get my piece? Can I get my piece?
Mm-hmm.
And you might hear from them when it's reporting time in another 6 months.
You're absolutely correct.
And after that, you know, it's like a pretty girl that won't really take you seriously. You know, you're wasting your time.
And here's another part of it. Here's another part of it. On the audit side of that, I have been part of, and I have seen where white-owned companies.
Oh no, we gave them this, we gave them that.
No, but here's what they got to do. They got to be able to show the financials that they did. There was a man in a DC company, a government contractor. He did not fulfill his obligation.
He ain't played them Black subs.
No. He was the sub.
Oh, he was
a sub to a white government contractor. He didn't do any of the work. He didn't do any of the work because they didn't properly reach out to him. But you know what had to happen in the end during reporting time?
He got paid for.
They were like, hurry up and send us an invoice. $280,000. He had to hurry up and send an invoice so they can pay him, so they can show their financials in the reporting.
They didn't want his work. They needed him. So they just subtracted that 283 from their gross.
Because that's what they have to do. They have to do that. When they get a government contract for X amount of dollars,
I
there's
ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna
percentages
take
that have
all
to
that
go to
283.
woman-owned, veteran-owned, minority-owned.
I'm gonna take
It
all
has
that
to be done.
283 and I'm gonna ask them, do they want to use me on the next time? I like that 283. 283,000.
He didn't do any work on the contract. But because there was checks and balances, they had to show that they paid him.
It sounds like bread on his table to me.
Yeah.
And a couple of sticks too. The real
And then,
estate.
and then if he was smart about it, he took the past performance, right? That said, I did the work on this contract, even though he didn't do the work on the contract. He used it as past performance so the next time around he could be a prime.
Woo. Now that's where you talking. That's poker right there.
But that's what's supposed to be done the right way. In this particular instance,
what is this country? What right?
No, what I'm
right?
What I'm saying in contracting, that is how it typically works. There's checks and balances with the reporting structure. If you got a good contracting officer that's on top of it and doing what they're supposed to do, that's how it typically works. And it depends on what agency as well, what government agency you're working with.
Okay, so look, we got 9 minutes. How are we going to manage this 9 minutes?
All right, so this 9 minutes, let me get into it. So we talked about the airdrop. Go to the website. One of the other things that we're focusing on, we want to make sure our HBCUs, our local HBCUs, get acclimated with this, and we want them to have the token as part of the airdrop. So that means Bowie State, Howard University, Coppin State, Morgan State, and I think it's Maryland Eastern Shore. They're in our backyard, right? I went to a huge event in Atlanta last month, and I said to myself, why am I in Atlanta doing this? I should be doing it in my own backyard, right? So that's how you and I ended up linking up, because I want to make sure we do it in our backyard. Our office is located in Bowie, Maryland. We're PG County, right? So Bowie State, we've been trying to reach out to the president of Bowie State. You will not believe how difficult it is to try to get in touch with these organizations to say, hey, we want to give you 100,000 cryptocurrency tokens, because they don't understand it.
I'm gonna say it's all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So the president, Dr. Bro, she's not impossible to reach.
Mm-hmm.
It can be challenging.
Are you talking about Bowie?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she can be reached. So can the president of Lincoln.
Ah, I forgot about Lincoln. Let me put that on the list.
Did you know that they are both in the CIAA?
I didn't know Lincoln was.
Did you know that the CIAA tournament is here in Baltimore? I know they want to put all the murders on us, but we do have other things.
Yeah, you guys had it this year.
We have it for the next 3 years.
The next 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, this is BlackUSA.News, the voice of our people. We're going to keep you connected. But what I'm getting to you is that the CIAA will no doubt bring Dr. Bro, the president of Lincoln, other Black presidents. They will have to certainly be visible somewhere. I don't know if either in person or online, but as the CIAA happened earlier this year, it brought people together, Black people. And it is important that you are there, because Black women are helping to lead this effort. Mm-hmm. But we still deal with sexism in our own community, where some brothers don't recognize the queen.
I got to go toe to toe with brothers all the time in this space. Toe to toe.
What?
And they don't know.
Simply because
I'm in this space, they want to try to challenge my knowledge, but then they don't realize who they're dealing with. And then I got to show them.
That's a Black man that's not in touch with the queen.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Because if you're a king, you're not intimidated by it. You're excited about a queen.
Exactly. I tell my husband that every day. I'm an alpha woman, but he's an alpha man.
Yeah, you got a lot of poo butt sucker ducks out here who wouldn't bust a grape. Yeah, wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight somebody break in your house, they're gonna send a woman downstairs, go see what that is. We know about them poop butt sucker ducks. They all around.
Really quick, this is important for your audience to know. So when I remember what I was talking about, the ISO protocol, the ISO 222, there are 2 tokens that are primary, that are behind the scenes, that have been working with over 100 banks globally. They've been working with universities globally, banks, universities, you name it. It's called XRP. They are behind the scenes with their native token, and they're actually going against the SEC right now. You'll hear about them. They're in the news. They're battling the SEC right now. But they have a token called XRP. You want to get some. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so RJ, clearly you like the Harriet Tubman of the crypto world. You trying to free Black people.
Absolutely. I like that. I'll take that title.
Okay, so we only have a few minutes, and we're not going to be able to cover the world. So how about you take a couple of minutes and review our first lesson?
Okay.
Some key terms, some takeaways, some instructions, a call to action. I defer to you. Do your thing.
So the call to action for this community is to make sure that you go to reparglobalcoin.com. Look at the videos on the site where we have instructions for you to set up a wallet. That's important. You need to set up your wallet to do the airdrop, right? I'm also going to go live on Instagram, which is Repar Global Official. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We go live all the time, where we'll do step-by-step instructions on how to set up a wallet. It takes 30 seconds to set up a wallet, literally 30 seconds. The other thing that we're doing, for the first 100 people, we're going to send you gas fees. What that means, gas fees and transaction fees is the same thing. It's only about 30 cents, but they ask you to do a minimum of $30 for the credit card for that 30 cents. We're going to pay the gas fees for those people that sign up for the airdrop, right? So if you're a college student, if you're listening to this, go to reparglobalcoin.com, click on all our social media links, follow us there, again on YouTube as well. The takeaways, we want you to understand that 1,865 tokens are available to you today. You will get the tokens and you'll have to go in the wallet and claim it. The process is very simple. You get your wallet, you take your public key, you paste it on our airdrop page, okay? Those who want to do more reading, we have a white paper, which is actually a black paper, that goes into detail about our project. If you are part of a nonprofit organization, Recidivism, the Wealth Gap, and Digital Divide, and you in the Baltimore area, I'm gonna have to let Donnie check you out first, but we're gonna check you out, we're gonna verify you. We are actually giving tokens away to nonprofits as well. All the HBCUs in this area, HBCUs period, not just this area, but we're focusing in our backyard, that anybody who goes to Bowie State, Coppin, Morgan, Maryland Eastern Shore, Lincoln University. I apologize if I missed Howard. How can I forget about Howard? We want students to participate and get the airdrop as well.
University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, and
Morgan.
State, Morgan, Bowie. Those are the 4 in Maryland.
Yep. So that's it. I hope to be back on this show again.
You can. I'm all about negotiating. We're going to see. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Can you have more than one wallet?
Yes, you have to have more than one wallet. You know why you have to have more than one wallet?
How many
because
wallets?
There are multiple blockchains. For example,
wallets you got?
How many wallets do I have? Ooh, probably about 8. I got about 8 wallets. And here's why. Depending on the type of tokens you have, if the token is built on a different blockchain.
Do you teach classes or something?
Yes, we do live. That's what we have to do. We have to do this. So, for example,
it's like those old slave meetings. We got to meet out back, talk about overthrowing this son of a gun, trying to.
Pretty much. So here's the thing. One of the slogans that I came up with is, if you go to our site, you'll see it says "Freedom from chains to blockchain." Right? And look at this logo over here. Can you see this here? You see the chain? This is our logo. All right. So that's a chain and it's breaking it. What that basically means is we're breaking away from the centralized finance. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. Find out who really owns the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not owned by the government. Look up the Rothschilds. Okay.
What is it? 8 families?
Is that 8 families, white families, they're rich. They own the Federal Reserve.
How they get rich?
Crypto,
How they get rich?
yeah, crypto
How
gives us the opportunity to create and own our own. And that's what we've essentially done.
They got money the old-fashioned way. They stole it.
That's you're correct.
I hope this has been as exuberating for you as it has been for me. We got
It has been very entertaining. I hope it's been entertaining for your audience as well.
We want it to be entertaining, but we want it to be informational and educational.
Informative, absolutely.
So look here, let me just, you want to get your pen out. This is Art Blackshear right here. Art does a show live from Oakland every Thursday.
My best friend lives in Oakland, Art.
Black Business Roundtable. You want to catch up with him. And also this gentleman here, Ronnie Griffin, you want to get in touch with him. He's got a lot of information. And just one comment by Deborah, slavery by another name.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you, so you only put your electronic information, you taking no phone calls?
No phone calls.
Because that would be what, like 18?
I first started it. I would be on the phone with individuals for 2 and 3 hours at a time. And it became overwhelming. I said, let me start going live and put this information out there, make videos and tutorials.
All right, so let me put up the website for you before you get up out of here. Tell me the website.
It's www.repar, REPAR, global, GLOBAL, coin, COIN.com.
Like that, Ma?
That is correct.
Very good. We appreciate you taking the time out to educate us and inform us. We hope that we touch some people, and we're very proud of you. And thank you for your love for our community and for the rest of the world. Love starts at home. Charity starts at home. We better start at home.
Absolutely.
You know, when I went to shovel snow, there was one rule. Before you shovel anybody else's snow, you better shovel your own damn steps so your mother don't come down the steps and bust her head.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine? You down the street making money and your mama just fell because you ain't shovel your front? It's like going outside without doing your chores on Saturday, but I digress.
Thank you. Thank you. I tell my kids that all the time. I said, Saturday mornings is for chores.
I don't play with them kids. I'm with Bernie Mac.
That's right. Put them in a chokehold.
Bust a move. Have a beautiful day, Queen. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. You do as well. Thank you, audience. Appreciate your time.
Good morning, world.